Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Today we are going to explore the fascinating history of the Nobel Prize, the world's most prestigious award. From the life of Alfred Nobel, the invention of dynamite, to how his will change the future of science, literature, and peace. This is the incredible story of the Nobel Prize. The Nobel Prize, today it is the most prestigious award in the world, a symbol of excellence, discovery, and peace. But behind its glory lies a story that begins with a man haunted by guilt, misjudged by the world, and determined to rewrite his legacy. Chapter 1: The Early Life of Alfred Nobel. Alfred Nobel was born on October 21, 1833 in Stockholm, Sweden. His father, Emanuel Nobel, was an inventor and engineer who built bridges and experimented with explosives. The Nobel family struggled financially, and when Alfred was 9, they moved to Russia, where his father had found work supplying equipment to the military. In Russia, young Alfred grew up surrounded by science and engineering. He showed an early passion for chemistry and languages. By age 17, he could speak 5 languages fluently. At 18, his father sent him abroad to study. In Paris, Alfred worked with the famous chemist Théophile Jules Pellouz. There he met Ascanio Sobrero, the man who invented nitroglycerin, a powerful but dangerously unstable liquid explosive. Sobrero warned that nitroglycerin was too dangerous to ever be used, but Alfred became fascinated with the idea of making it safe. Chapter 2: The Invention That Changed Everything. Back in Sweden, Alfred Nobel and his family began experimenting with nitroglycerin. The experiments were risky and tragic. In 1864, an explosion at the Nobel laboratory killed several workers, including Alfred's younger brother Emil. Instead of giving up, Alfred intensified his efforts. By 1867, he discovered a way to stabilize nitroglycerin by absorbing it into a powdery substance called diatomaceous earth. He patented this invention as dynamite. Dynamite revolutionized industries like construction, mining, and transportation. Tunnels, railroads, and canals could be built faster and more safely. Nobel became immensely wealthy, establishing companies and factories in over 20 countries. But there was a dark side. Dynamite was also used in wars, making Alfred Nobel one of the richest men in Europe, but also one of the most controversial. Chapter 3: The Merchant of Death. In 1888, Alfred's older brother Ludwig died. A French newspaper mistakenly published Alfred's obituary instead. The headline read, "Le Marchand de la Mort est mort, the Merchant of Death is dead." The article condemned Alfred Nobel as a man who grew rich by inventing weapons of mass destruction. Reading his own obituary shook Alfred to the core. He realized this was how the world would remember him. That moment changed everything. Nobel decided he wanted his legacy to be different, not as a destroyer but as a benefactor of humanity. Chapter 4: The Will That Shocked the World. On November 27, 1895, at the Swedish-Norwegian Club in Paris, Alfred Nobel signed his final will. He dedicated 94% of his fortune, around 31 million Swedish krona, equivalent to $250 million today, to a fund. The interest from this fund, he declared, would be used to award prizes to those who had conferred the greatest benefit to humankind. The prizes would be given in 5 fields. Physics, for discoveries about the natural world. Chemistry, for advances in chemical science. Physiology or medicine, for discoveries improving health. Literature, for outstanding written work. Peace, for those who work to end wars and promote fraternity among nations. This was revolutionary. No one had ever created such an international award system before. Nobel died in San Remo, Italy on December 10, 1896 at the age of 63. His will shocked his relatives, many of whom expected to inherit his fortune. But Nobel's decision was final. Chapter 5: The Birth of the Nobel Prize. Carrying out Nobel's will was not easy. It took 5 years of legal battles and arguments before the Nobel Foundation was finally established. On December 10, 1901, the 5th anniversary of Nobel's death, the first Nobel Prizes were awarded. The first laureates included Wilhelm Röntgen, physics, for discovering X-rays; Jacobus Henricus van 't Hoff, chemistry, for work in chemical dynamics; Emil von Behring, medicine, for developing a serum against diphtheria. Sully Prudhomme Literature, a French poet. Henry Dunant Peace, founder of the Red Cross, and Frédéric Passy, a peace activist. Thus began a tradition that continues to this day. Chapter 6: Growth and Expansion. Over the years, the Nobel Prize grew in prestige. The award ceremonies became major events. The Swedish Academy selects the literature laureate. The Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences chooses the physics, chemistry, and economics laureates. The Karolinska Institute awards the Medicine Prize. The Norwegian Nobel Committee awards the Peace Prize in Oslo. In 1968, Sweden's central bank created the prize in economic sciences in memory of Alfred Nobel, often called the Nobel Prize in Economics. Chapter 7: Famous Laureates. The Nobel Prize has recognized some of history's greatest minds and leaders. Marie Curie, the first woman to win, and the only person to win in 2 sciences. Albert Einstein, awarded in 1921 for his work on the photoelectric effect. Martin Luther King Jr., Peace Prize in 1964 for his civil rights leadership. Nelson Mandela, Peace Prize in 1993 for ending apartheid in South Africa. Malala Yousafzai, the youngest laureate at 17, for her fight for girls' education. Chapter 8: Controversies and Criticisms. Not every decision has been popular. Mahatma Gandhi was nominated 5 times for the Peace Prize but never received it. Some argue that important fields like mathematics and engineering were unfairly excluded. Others criticize political influences in Peace Prize selections. Despite these debates, the Nobel Prize remains the world's most respected award. Chapter 9: Today and Legacy. Today, Nobel Prizes are awarded every year on December 10, the anniversary of Alfred Nobel's death. Each laureate receives a gold medal, a diploma, a cash award worth over $1 million USD. But more than money, the Nobel Prize represents global recognition. It turns scientists, writers, and activists into symbols of hope for humanity. Alfred Nobel, once remembered as the Merchant of Death, is now honored as the man who created a legacy of peace, progress, and discovery. The Nobel Prize began with Alfred Nobel, a Swedish chemist, engineer, and inventor who created dynamite in 1867. Although his invention was used in construction and mining, it was also used in war, which caused Alfred Nobel to worry about how history would remember him. In 1888, when his brother Ludwig died, a French newspaper mistakenly published Alfred Nobel's obituary, calling him the Merchant of Death. Shocked by how he was seen, Nobel decided to leave behind a better legacy. In his will, he left most of his fortune to create the Nobel Prizes, awards given every year to those who have conferred the greatest benefit to humanity in physics, chemistry, medicine, literature, and peace. Later, in 1968, the Nobel Prize in Economic Sciences was added. The first Nobel Prizes were awarded in 1901, and since then they have honored some of the greatest thinkers, writers, and leaders in the world. Famous laureates include Albert Einstein, Martin Luther King Jr., Mother Teresa, Malala Yousafzai, and many others whose work has changed history. Each year, the prizes continue to remind the world of the power of knowledge, peace, and human progress. Now let's talk about this year's Nobel Prize, the year 2025. For the Nobel Peace Prize, there are 338 nominees, including 244 individuals and 94 organizations. The list of nominees is kept secret for 50 years, but we know that many nominations come from human rights defenders, climate activists, humanitarian organizations, and leaders who work for peace. Each nomination represents an effort to make the world better, whether through promoting democracy, protecting the environment, or helping victims of war. For the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine 2025, the award has already been announced. It went to Mary E. Brunkow, Fred Ramsdell, and Shimon Sakaguchi for their groundbreaking research on immune tolerance. Their discoveries about regulatory T cells have transformed medicine, helping us better understand how the immune system prevents autoimmune diseases and how it can be controlled in treatments for cancer and organ transplants. Their work has saved lives and will continue to shape medicine for generations to come. These stories remind us that the Nobel Prizes are not just awards, but symbols of hope, a reminder that human knowledge, creativity, and compassion can change the world. From dynamite to peace, from invention to inspiration, the story of Alfred Nobel shows us that one decision, one vision can change how the world remembers us. More than a century later, the Nobel Prize continues to honor those who shape our future and light the path for generations to come. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed learning about the history of the Nobel Prize and the vision of Alfred Nobel. If you found this story inspiring, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more amazing stories of history and knowledge. Once again, thank you and see you in the next video.